Welcome to the Journey to Wellness podcast, sponsored by the Essential Wellness Society and Healing Wheel Holistic. I'm Melissa Stonehill-Kyam, and I will be your host. With over 40 years' experience in the health and fitness industry, I am ready to dive in to some of the most conflicting topics we have regards to health today. Let's go. Welcome back. On today's show, I have Lisa Chapman, Celestial Salt. And before I even go into it, I want to know, have you ever walked into a place that's so completely magical you don't want to leave? This was my experience walking in to Lisa's brick and mortar. I was mesmerized as soon as I opened the door. And it was so exciting to me to walk into this space in Colorado Springs because it's unique. There is no other space like this space. The vibe is amazing. The artwork that is there on the walls, on display. If you're into crystals, they were calling my name. This one in particular, I'm calling this one Aurora. But I had walked by this absolutely beautiful, very humble sized crystal. It was on the shelf, and I was being given a tour by Lisa. And I kept taking 3 steps back, 2 steps forward, and 3 steps back. And I felt like this crystal was saying, really? You really going to just walk by me? Then we went deeper into the rabbit hole, and I just had to have Lisa on the show because what she is offering for this community is so unique and so much fun that I thought I'd let her tell you about it. And I will start with introduce yourself.
It's so nice to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me. And
Sure.
it was lovely having you to have a show round at the space for sure.
It was fun.
Yeah, so my name's Lisa Chapman, and I've just recently opened Celestial Salt. In fact, we opened the last week in April, so we're still very brand new. And we are a fusion of holistic and metaphysical services, trying to provide this community place for people to come and just feel better, where they can get wellness and some kind of loving, just anything that makes you feel really kind and warm and loved whenever you come and spend time at our space. That's the aim.
Well, you're just drawn in, and it doesn't end. It's like there's one cool thing after the next, and then you took me into some rooms that had these salt booths.
Yes.
What is the proper name for those salt booths? And can you explain what that type of therapeutic modality is?
Certainly. The therapy itself is halotherapy. Halo is the Greek word. And we have booths. We decided to do booths rather than a salt cave or a salt room, just partly because of COVID and people wanting to do things in small groups. So we have 2 booths. The one we have is called the Halo IR, and the IR stands for infrared. Wow. So you get the dry salt therapy, which the salt gets ground up really fine, tiny little microns, blown into the space, and you breathe that in. It's really good for asthma, allergies, lung health, skin health. It's accompanied with infrared. It also has chromotherapy, which is light therapy. We can add little oil in there, so you can have aromatherapy, and we play meditation music to you too, so you can have a full relax for 20, 30 or 45 minutes in that machine. The other machine we have is called a Vitality booth, and we're still putting that one together, so it should be ready very soon. It does the halotherapy exactly the same as the other one, but this one has Mito red light instead.
What is Mito red light?
Mito red light is really good for collagen. So if you want to improve your skin tone, like wrinkles, help with sunspots and all that type of thing. The infrared is penetrating deeper into your body. That one goes 2 to 7 centimeters through your skin, whereas the red light is 1 to 2 millimeters. So it's It's aiming at the wrinkles, the sagging skin, sun
Wow.
damage.
That's so amazing.
Helps with rosacea and psoriasis and that type of thing. And the infrared is more, there's a lot of overlap between the two of them, but the infrared is certainly aiming for deeper pain relief for arthritis, bone and tissue repair, and muscle gain weight. It's good for athletes. So all that type of stuff.
Something interesting. So I recently had some labs done, and my thyroid was borderline. So they decided to write the diagnosis of hypothyroidism, but my doctor is a little bit more holistically based, and she said, rather than put you on a drug, I want you to buy infrared. They sell them, and I want you to just give your thyroid treatments.
Yes.
Well, I went and looked. These things are not cheap.
No, they're not.
No. So I'm thinking, with a booth like yours, you're, besides getting the thyroid, you're getting so many other benefits.
Yeah, you are.
At a fraction of the cost of, now you're going to own this thing and you sit and you're holding it.
Yeah.
Now, I did visit your space and the booths themselves are super cozy, big enough for a really chill Adirondack chair. Do you put music in there too?
Yes, we do. We pipe meditation music in there.
Wow.
So, and I mean, I have one lady comes in. She's like, "Can I have panpipe music?" And we just switch it for her, because people like different things. So, yeah.
Then how many sessions do people usually need? Let's say you have a condition. Maybe you know of a condition that's very common. Maybe it's arthritis or pain or whatever. Acne, I'm not sure, but how many sessions with a certain condition would someone start to feel a result?
Say if somebody came in and they were having sinus issues, it's the beginning of allergy season. We get a couple of those in Colorado with the different trees flowering different times a year. If they can catch themselves pretty early and do 3 to 5 sessions in relative quick succession over a 2-week period, they'll really start to get the antimicrobial, anti-inflammatory, antibacterial benefits of getting the salt into their nasal passages and their system, which will calm down a lot of the mucosa up in the nose, and it'll clear out the phlegm that's trying to grow in there to protect the sinuses. And then they just have to maintain like once a week or so through that allergy season. If you get somebody who's coming in for like an eczema based thing, it's probably more of a long process whenever they have a flare up, as long as they haven't got raw open skin at any given time, because we wouldn't recommend getting salt in an open wound. But if they're starting to get a little bit of a flare up and it hasn't yet cracked and broken open, then again, if they can do 2 or 3, 4, 5 in a quick succession and then drop it back to 1 till their skin settles down a little bit, and then they just come in whenever they need management. So
I love this. And what kind of salt exactly is being used?
It is pharmaceutical pure grade salt.
Okay.
So it's as pure as you can get it. It's the cleanest salt you can
This is so
possibly
cool. And
get.
so what I'm thinking about too is, we often hear about the use of saline. Right? And this is basically creating that type of environment, right?
It is, but dry.
Right.
Yeah.
And, I'm very familiar with neti pots. And you mentioned allergies. And I don't know if you out there, suffer from allergies, but honestly, I also haven't met anyone that hasn't had COVID at least once by this time. And one of the after effects for me was it took me forever to stop producing mucus after experiencing that virus. And I'm thinking that, breathing in, standing by the ocean, breathing in the salt air, we all know is so good for you, right? And the negative ions that it produces. Now you're bringing this here, which, why is this so great for Colorado? We are so landlocked.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So people do not have access
to that salt air.
air.
Yeah, and if you really want, we can play music that sounds like the ocean. If you want to really get that salt
that.
on, right?
Right.
You feel like you're at the beach in your Adirondack chair and your beach towel. You'll be
and
good
then
to
all
go.
you got to do is serve some fish and chips afterwards.
Right? I'm still struggling to find really good English style British fish and chips. Right?
yes. That's why I mentioned it. Wrapped in the newspaper.
Absolutely, it's the newspaper that does it. I think. Yeah.
gives it that extra flavor.
Most definitely.
I'm excited to try it.
Yeah.
And I love both solutions. I love the idea, you know, if there's anything on the market that can remove age spots, sign me up. And a lot of that is sun damage.
Yeah.
So if you had led an active life and you were in the sun and you're over 50, chances are that your pigmentation has changed.
Absolutely. I can't wait to get in there personally. I lived 10 years in Florida. Spent a lot of time in my car where you feel like the sun is super intense on your face. And on the left side of my face, I have more pigmentation than on my right. But I'm freckly by nature, so the sunspots are certainly there.
I love the whole idea of the offering. And then what is the temperature of these booths?
The Mito red light, it just gets as warm as the lights are. It's not much more warmer than room temperature. The infrared, we have 4 different protocol settings, and 2 of them involve temperature. Most people like to have it on protocol 2, and the temperature for that gets to about 88, 90 degrees. Doesn't feel excessively hot because it's really dry. And then the hottest it gets is between 120, 125.
Wow. So
that's a little hot.
But I could see some, like here in the winter, like of course we have sun, but that would be very advantageous, you know, just warm your bones. And the studies of infrared and red light are out. And if you go to National Institute of Health.gov, there's tons of studies on this for therapy. Now that's all great.
Yeah.
Now, when you walk into Lisa's Celestial Salt, you walk in and there's this fabulous store in the front. And then down these halls, before you get to the booths, you're passing her artwork, which are these phenomenal acrylic pours. I bought this necklace, and for a lot of people, it looks like, they're like, what crystal are you wearing? And I'm like, I'm wearing original artwork. And
Cool.
This artwork that I'm wearing, there is no other one like it in the whole world.
Totally unique.
So let's talk a little bit about your artwork, and I'd love you to show some of the things that you're doing, because it just really spoke to me, the creativity involved there.
So I didn't bring an actual artwork piece because I had so many other bits and pieces to bring. But I did bring some of the other jewelry that I made from various paint. So whenever I do a piece of art, it's pouring. So you pour a lot of paint off the canvas, and it's like, it's a lot of waste. And I get traumatized by wasting stuff. I don't know. I like to recycle everything. So I'm like, what can I do? So I was like learning about the drying the skin, letting the skin paint dry, and then cutting it out and sticking it on the back of little glass cabochons. Well, I didn't quite like the way that worked out. So then I'm like, well, let me just try dipping it in the paint. And I preferred it that way. So I actually dip mine. I give them a couple of days to dry, and then I set them into the basil trays, pendants, and that type of thing.
It.
Yeah.
And I'm a student of painting since, I started formal painting lessons when I was an adolescent. So I tried acrylic pour because I thought, oh my gosh, that'll be so much fun. And I thought, this should be a breeze, right? It was not. No. It is so hard to control the result.
Yeah.
And when I saw your artwork hanging, it's like, I appreciate how hard it is to get those results and to get just the bubble effect and the openness. I really, really loved the artwork, and then turning it into this jewelry. So you can be walking around wearing an original piece of art.
Yes, absolutely.
And she signs the back of the card.
Yeah. And even if I do 10 pieces out of the same paint run off, they all look different. On the times where I've tried to get earrings to match as close as possible, I'll try and get the same little bits of colour in, but they're still going to look different just because I can't match it.
Yeah, but it all works out so well. The other thing is I noticed that you have so many different things for the salt lamps. And I know that through my studies I'm working towards a PhD in naturopathic medicine. And so you study cortisol levels, circadian rhythms. And I made a choice that around 9 o'clock at night, I go amber in my house. What does that mean? That means all other lights go off. We're putting on all of our salt lamps. And I also have like little night lights. Any lamps that I have that have bulbs have a special bulb in there. So I understand what the salt lamps do to cortisol. So they actually will help you boost that melatonin.
Ready for sleep.
That you need, right? And when I went into your space, it was like a playground of these beautiful amber salt lamps. So I'd like you to talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so the pink Himalayan salt lamp that's on here, that's one of the smallest ones I've got. So that's just a few pounds, like 2 or 3 pounds. And then they go up to, I think some of the biggest ones are like 30, 35 pounds. I can get them bigger. If anybody wants an 80, 90 pound salt lamp, we can get those. They come from only one area in the world. They come from the Punjab region of Pakistan, which is just over the Pakistan side of the Himalayas.
Nice.
And the caves that they work in, they're like a constant 70 degrees. And all of the pink salt comes from that area. And they're made into, you know, a lot of lamps, all this exact shape, but then they make them into all sorts of different shapes. You can have spheres and cones and
you have them.
Yeah, I have some different ones, yeah. And some we have like the abundance bowls with the loose rocks in or with the balls in. You can use the balls as massage stones. Even something like this that's, this is a soap bar, but you can also use it for massage if you heat it up and that type of stuff.
So how is that a soap bar?
Yeah, it's funny. It's because as you get it wet, the salt will, you can use it like an exfoliator.
Nice.
Yeah.
So this is a great solution right here.
Yeah.
Right here. So you're in your shower, your body is, your pores are open, and now you're taking the salt bar and you're giving yourself a therapeutic massage. Yeah. This is phenomenal. I bet this is really good for sore muscles too.
Yeah, and also
that is great.
We have bath salts in different sizes, and we actually have Himalayan salt bars as well. I mean, this one, see if I can even get in here.
So this one is infused with essential oils, and I'll tell you, nutritionally speaking, I recommend Epsom salt baths to everybody. From infants to adults, you just change the amount that you put in. A lot of people don't realize that the Epsom salt is magnesium. And the body loves magnesium subdermally into your skin. This will help relax your muscles more than oral magnesium. And I stand by that. I've done my own test drive with it. And I recommend to most of my clients that they take at least three salt baths a week. You know, if you can do every day, it can get expensive, but it's really a really great way to relax your body. And let's say you want to detoxify a little bit. So you put a little bit of baking soda in there.
That helps it more.
Really helps it. And it's super good for colicky babies, you know, little ones before bed. You just got to look at your measurements. That's awesome. Excellent.
And then we have bars of soap. I mean, this one doesn't smell. It says it doesn't smell. It's a very gentle little fragrance.
Oh, I can smell it. What is it, Castile?
Yeah, probably. It's Himalayan salt.
And it's vegan.
Yeah, and they last for quite a while. Yeah, I like to have a lot of vegan stuff. I even sell in really the store the shampoo and conditioner bars. So there's no plastic waste, and they are vegan bars, and that's what I wash my hair with, because I don't like all the plastic bottles, and I don't like all the
that's really smart,
chemicals
and
parabens.
Taking care of the earth. So what you got over there, I see it looks like a grid of some sort with a pendulum on it.
Yeah, so as well as like a bunch load of crystals that we have, we also do all sorts of pendulums as well, and pendulum boards. So that's like one of the smaller boards. We do have bigger ones than that as well. And then this is, you just use...
this has the sacred geometry, the symbols, the chakra symbols, And the pendulum, now a lot of people don't know about pendulum. And it really falls under the principle of polarity. So pendulums are used in science all the time. And what these pendulums pick up is the magnetic field. And it's science. And I love these pendulums. This one's quartz.
Yeah. It's got a beautiful aura on the outside of that. I can see it really sparkling from here.
It's really nice.
Yeah.
And you do have a beautiful collection.
We've got some.
It's so nice.
Yeah, I mean, we've got them starting relatively reasonable for somebody who's just starting out, getting into the metaphysical stuff, and they need a pendulum, right? And we've got some where people really want something a bit more special. So we've got a good variety of
the argonite.
We've got different ones that have got like copper filigree around them and some really, really beautifully crafted pieces.
So nice. So I want to talk a little bit more about crystals in general. I've been doing a little more of a deep dive into frequencies and understand that everything has frequency. And crystals, especially, before they're cut, when they're stalactites and stalagmites in these mines, they have a very high vibration. So we were talking today about comparing a crystal to a river rock to a leaf. Because each one of these has a vibration. We agree, there's a vibration, there's a frequency.
Everything has a vibration. Yeah.
And then there's a lot of tradition in many different cultures to use different crystals for different things.
Yes.
So I'd like to talk a little bit more about that because you know a little bit more than I do.
Marginally. It's still new to me, I have to say. I've collected crystals for a while, and usually I buy them on the guise of, oh my God, that's beautiful, I have to have it, right? Okay. And then I take it home and realise it's for this solar plexus, or it's for the heart chakra, or it's for your third eye, or whatever, and I'm like, oh, I obviously needed that, right? So then you end up with this collection of stones that you need, so I've got a really cute rose quartz here, and we feel that, it just feels so nice. It's a palm stone, so it feels nice to hold anyway.
I've always liked rose quartz.
Yeah, and it's just this loving energy, and people really love rose quartz and clear quartz and things like that.
I had an experience with a piece of rose quartz. So in 2020, I had COVID the first time I had it, and I had some crystals in my room, and I was quarantined, and so I was just playing with everything I had. And I held the crystal, and when I picked up the crystal, and it was like hot to the touch. And then I'm holding it, and it was hot to the touch. My husband's a nurse, and he came in to check on me, and it was on the bedside. And I said, pick up that rose quartz and tell me what you feel. So he picks it up. He's like, it's cold. I said, really? I pick it up. Hot. And I said, can you feel my hand? Because I didn't have a fever.
No.
Can you feel my hand? Oh, your hand feels normal. I was like,
and he would know, being a nurse, right?
Right, but the rose quartz, every time I picked it up, was like a hot stone.
Wow.
So I decided that I was going to put it wherever I felt discomfort at the time, because I decided that the rose quartz was talking to me. And somehow our energetic frequencies were resonating in such a way that it kept showing up as a hot stone.
As a hot stone for you, yeah.
And so I didn't question it. It's like, what am I going to do? Question this?
Yeah. No.
Am I imagining? It was actually really warm.
Yeah.
So that was my rose quartz experience. I see you have amethyst there.
Yeah, I've got the amethyst. There's actually two tips. There's regular amethyst and the chevron amethyst there. So
Ooh.
they have the same sort of properties and feelings and stuff.
I feel like they have their own hieroglyphics
Yeah,
too.
they're so pretty.
Now these are polished stones, but
Yeah.
I've seen in your store all those
We've got
raw
the
stones.
clusters and raw stones.
Yes,
Yeah.
and that those little towers.
Yeah, we have little towers on wood bases, and
They're
we've
adorable.
got like heart-shaped ones.
And I love your
yeah.
angels.
Mm-hmm.
Those angels are phenomenal.
Oh, I forgot to get this out when I came.
Do you have an angel with you?
Yes, and this is a gift for you.
What?
That's for you to keep.
You know, I
You
love
said you
this
wanted that one.
Oh my God.
I was like, that angel needs a new home, so she's coming to live with you, right?
And this is the aura quartz?
The aura quartz,
I don't know why I'm so drawn to. You know why I think I'm drawn to aura quartz? Okay, now we're going to nerd out metaphysically. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Because of the angel Raziel.
Oh, right, yes.
That appears in rainbow.
Mm-hmm.
And I've had this experience for the last couple of years with connecting to the angel Raziel.
Mm-hmm.
And oh my God, you guys, look at that. Who doesn't want this, right?
Yeah.
Like, I love this angel.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome, my dear.
I'm
You're
so
welcome.
touched because this means so much to me.
You're welcome.
And so I think one of the things about our attraction to crystals is that they're visually stimulating.
They are.
And visual matters.
It does.
The chromotherapy,
Mm-hmm.
we're seeing color.
Yep.
We're seeing layers.
We are.
I also feel like when crystals are mined, how old are they? How ancient
Yeah.
is this?
Mm-hmm.
So when the question arises, how do crystals partner in the healing experience?
Mm-hmm.
That's the question, right?
Yeah. Well, I have a lot of people coming and they're looking around the crystal shop, and you know, just their mannerism, you can tell they're a skeptic, and they say, "So do these things work?" They pick them up and they're like really already dismissive of what they are. I says, well, if you think they work, they work. If you think they don't, they don't. But at the end of the day, they're just beautiful to look at.
Right.
And that's usually my answer, because you can't force somebody to feel whether they feel something or get a benefit from anything in the world ever.
And that's
right?
a very, very honest answer.
Yeah, it is.
So if you look back in history,
Yeah.
and we go back to Cleopatra,
Mm-hmm.
okay, and all the different crushed minerals and crystals that Cleopatra used to use
Exactly.
for skin. And we learned so much
Mm-hmm.
about skin and makeup and this and that
Yep.
from ancient Egypt. Cleopatra was known for lipstick. The lipstick wasn't around then. She would take a root, a beetroot, and rub it on her lips,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And beautification has always been something women have been attracted to.
Mm-hmm.
But going into the culture and going into the priests and the breastplates of the priests and the many stones and stones representing zodiac and stones representing tribes and Native American culture using turquoise as a healing stone. It's been around since the beginning. It's been whenever, if there was ever a beginning. I can't tell you there was.
Yeah,
It could
no,
have been
me
since the continuum,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
But the mystery of the attraction to crystals still remains. So if you want to delve a little deeper, I noticed you have a lot of books in there too.
We do. We have different books on, I mean, even as simple as like something like this angel numbers book, which I love to use like for bibliomancy. You know, you just flick the pages and pull it out and go, what do I need to know in the moment, right?
Now, what was that word again?
Bibliomancy.
Biblo, meaning
As in book.
Mancy
is
meaning
like a
the mystery.
magic or mystery. Yeah.
Wow. So I opened it up
Yeah.
and I landed at 6:59. Okay. I don't have my reading glasses on. Know that your energy is expanding and your awareness of all things spiritual is increasing. Your recent actions and choices have been aligned with love. Your inner teacher is speaking loud and clear.
There you go.
This I love this.
Yeah. These are great for
I'm going to accept this
Yeah.
today because I connect to it.
Yeah.
And I love that.
And it is cool. You can get like a little morning message from it, right?
So let's talk a little bit about your offerings. You're a lot more than a gift shop. You're a lot more than an artist gallery, which all that right there is phenomenal. And the therapeutic services. Now let's talk about the other offerings you're doing in that wonderful great room you have.
Yeah. So as well as the halotherapy, we have massage, we do Reiki, we have a function room where I've got somebody soon, Penelope, who's going to come and start doing yoga, and she's doing a yoga chakra class as well, which is really cool. And I'm looking for other people who want to come and do maybe Tai Chi, Qigong, meditation, breathing classes like yourself, so that we can offer lots of different things to the community in the name of wellness. We've also got on July 30th is Saturday, we've got a psychic fair coming. So we have 4 psychic mediums, and we also have one lady who's coming in. She's going to bring a aura machine. This is going to be interesting.
An aura machine.
So this was my aura that she did.
Ooh.
I get a lot of green healing and some blue and some gold. Pretty cool.
What kinds of cameras being used?
She's actually using a proper aura reading machine. It's a special machine that reads auras, and she can either do it where it shows the chakras or she'll show the image. But on the day of the psychic fair, she's going to do a reading for you. She's going to put you on a table and do an hour's Reiki, and then she's going to read your energy again afterwards. Wow. And when she actually was, she came in a few days ago and did this for me. She took a reading of herself. There was some green, a lot of blue. She went in the halotherapy machine for 30 minutes, came out, the whole thing, did it again, and it was completely green, like healing energy. So that was really cool to see that.
Oh, wow. I wish that she would come over to our retreat when she's done with your psychic fair. Yeah, because we have that the same weekend.
Yeah. And we also have psychic readers most days during the week, and they're really brilliant. We have some that do tarot, some are does mediumship, so they all do different ones. All their bios are on my website, so people can read about that.
You have my very favorite intuitive on the planet, Julie Speechins. And that's a connection we have too.
Yes.
You went through Reiki 1 and 2 with my husband under the guidance of Julie.
Yep.
Julie's the spiritual director for my company, as well as the person that took me through Karuna. And she's
wonderful. Lovely
really,
energy.
really phenomenal intuitive.
Yeah.
I've had personal experiences, and so I know that you have a great group of people.
Yeah. There's just absolutely wonderful people just turning up and saying it would be great to do this, or could we do that. Like Penelope's also doing, correct my pronunciation please, a cacao ceremony in August. So I'm excited about that. That will be really good.
And we have a lot of crossing here because she is the yin yoga teacher on our retreat.
Absolutely, yeah. So
we have really great people in this town.
We do have great people in this
town.
town.
So tell everybody how they can find out more information about your store, your location. Please talk about your location.
Yeah.
How they connect with you, whether they're practitioners or want to be customers.
Our store is located in the Rampart Village Shopping Centre, which is Briargate. The address is 7689 North Union Boulevard, and we're right next door to Petrie's Family Games. There's a really good coffee shop and the gluten-free donuts in there as well. So lots of reasons to come visit the plaza, right?
Tons of parking.
Tons of parking. That's really good as well. My website is celestialsaltllc.com. And we have Facebook link on there as well. So I'm posting stuff on Facebook all the time of the schedule of readers for the week, or what days my massage therapist is in. She's a medically intuitive massage. So she not only does the massage, she feels your energy as she's working on you. So she's guided to work in the right areas for you.
And I've seen your spaces. They're beautiful.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, I have to mention this, So when I went into your store and I looked at everything, I was oohing and ahhing and everything, and then I looked at the prices. I have never seen better prices.
Thank you.
Okay?
Yeah.
So I definitely have to shout that out, because that is just so awesome that people who want to practice can buy straight from you.
Yeah, and it was a process doing the pricing. I mean, some of my suppliers, they have a recommended selling price, and a lot of that I stuck with. But with the crystals, I was coming back going, okay, how much did this cost me? How much does it cost me per stone? How much are other people selling this for? Man, they're making a lot of money.
Wow.
And then I was bringing it down a little bit, because I was finding a figure that I was comfortable charging. I was making some money, and I wasn't being exorbitant, because I want people to have these products and crystals and things in their possession rather than sitting on my shelves, so they can benefit people.
And that's what I felt from you.
Yeah.
Is that everything you have in your store is there out of love.
It
And that was the vibe I felt the second I walked in.
Yeah.
And I always pick it up from you too. So I want to thank you for today, and thank you for bringing all this stuff. I'm not going to call it stuff. All
like stuff.
of this magical, wonderful crystals and wares. I'm just in love with every single thing, and I know when I'm walking in Lisa's store, I'm not walking out empty-handed. It's just not going to happen. Today, we are podcasting from the Center for Essential Wellness in Colorado Springs, and today's podcast is sponsored by the Essential Wellness Society and Healing Wheel Holistic and Healing Wheel Retreats. www.healingwheelholistic.com. We have a retreat coming up in Manitou Springs. I'm so excited. It's July 28th through August 1st, and I'd love to see you there. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me here.